Hi there folks, my name's NovaWrap and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for your simulation release news and goings on from the week that was. So here we are for another episode on Sunday the 24th of March 2019, and we're going to jump straight into it this week with some releases for the X-Plane 11 world. So starting this week with the guys over at Tabaret. So Tabaret have been world famous for doing a lot of high quality mesh and terrain and scenery products over the years. And they continued their branching out into the X-Plane 11 world by bringing out their rendition of Mont Blanc. So very course, very the tallest and most massive peak in Europe, located part of the French Alps, and it goes through the French-Italian border and into Switzerland. Now this scenery includes photoreal scenery during summer and as well as custom terrain mesh for the peak of Mont Blanc itself, as well as surrounding other major peaks as well. All included, as I said, with high detail photoreal scenery and custom 3D buildings as well. No word on whether or not any airports have been updated, included in this one. The sort of the showcase video here that we're sort of watching in the background here shows off the scenery in good detail, but not really any airports, so I'm not sure about that one. Couldn't find any further information, but if you do enjoy the scenery, might not be a bad thing to grab. Fairly reasonably priced for a sort of a scenery add-on, sort of $15 US. $20 US currently on a launch special over at Sim Market for $15 US. If you do want to pick it up and check it out, so let us know if you do in the comments down below. In another release for the X-Plane 11 Worlds, the guys over at TalkSim have come out with a interesting little new add-on. It is literally the Pocket Rocket. So a fairly unusual aircraft in the real world has been modeled in high detail for the X-Plane world, and it is kind of fun. Like, it's basically the modern day equivalent of a GB racer. It's basically a PT6 turboprop engine with a pilot strap to it and a set of wings stuck on the side. So these guys come through the actual coding. A lot of the coding has been done here from the guys over at Hot Start as well. And they borrowed a lot of contents from that as well. Looking pretty damn amazing, pretty damn detailed here. The custom avionics is including a fully simulated G1000, and within synthetic vision software licensed from the guys over at Hotstart. Also includes highly detailed renditions of the PT6 engine, as well as highly detailed 3D modeling, full implementation of PBR texturing in 4K, as well as all sorts of variety of custom systems modeling, and a high fidelity sound pack included as well. So looking pretty damn spectacular, this little add-on this does. It's a fairly high price tag for what it is though. I was a little surprised at the price tags coming into this one. So looking at $45 US available now over at the xaviation.com store, available now. In another aircraft release for X-Plane 11, the guys over at AOA Simulations, who are fairly famous for bringing out the F-35B and the V-22 Osprey to X-Plane 11 skies, they've moved over and made the F-35A Lightning II, so of course the primary model of the Joint Strike Fighter program. So they've come out their rendition of this aircraft, including highly detailed 3D modeling, custom animations, custom setting up of all the avionics, and full implementation of PBR textures. They've also included fully animated 3D model and 3D modeled weapons as well, and a range of various weapons configurations. Not sure if they're customizable weapons configurations, because it sort of looks like it comes with a preset set of weapons configurations. Not sure how that works with the inbuilt weapons system that's built into X-Plane 11, so that could be kind of cool and kind of interesting. But this is very different from the F-35B, because of course the F-35B is the vertical takeoff and landing variant. This is the F-35A, which is the conventional takeoff and landing variant, the CTOL variant. But otherwise, looking pretty cool. I must admit, though, maybe it's because I'm spoiled by Dino's one, that although the external model looks pretty nice, the internal, the avionics look like they leave a little bit to be desired. Especially, as I said, maybe it's just because I've been spoiled by Dino's one in the ESP world for a while. But yeah, it also has the advantage of the fact that I don't have to. Well, there's an add-on that I can't get because I use the professional version I've prepared for being able to use weapons in it. So anyway, so yeah, VRS. Anyway, moving on. So if you are wanting to pick this one up, it's coming in at a fairly reasonable price. This one coming in at $36 $36 available now from the Explain.org store. Available now. In another aircraft release, well, aircraft modification release. So the guys over at Prop Strike Studios, these are a really fascinating group of developers. They really are. Like, they've got their hands in just about everything, I think. So Prop Strike have come out with a variety of scenery, sort of bush operations, bush plane orientated or bush pilot orientated scenery over the last year or so. And they've come out now with a modification for the default Cessna 172 that ships with X-Plane 11, and it's been inspired by a real Quantum River pilot. So for those who may not remember, Quantum River was one of the first sceneries that Prop Strike Studio actually developed. So they've actually come out. They've actually sort of spent time with one of the with one of the pilots that would regularly operate out of the airport, and actually come up with this modification for Cessna 172 as it is when it is operating in sort of the remote regional parts of Alaska and Canada. And of course, that includes your usual sort of modifications of tundra tires, but it's got some really cool modifications like angle of attack indicators. It's got the cargo. They've completely redone how the cargo is actually sort of done. They've actually ripped out the back seats of the 3D model and allowed you to put cargo in there. But also, as you actually change the cargo, like the cargo weight in the weight and balance settings of X-Plane 11, it will actually add and remove cargo out of the back of the airplane as well. Like, that's cool. Like, I love that. That's a wonderful little feature. It also includes a belly cargo pod, and a sort of the tail dragger sort of part of the of an aircraft that operates in that kind of thing. Both a tricycle landing, the standard tricycle landing version of the Cessna 172, but also a tail dragger version of 172, which is unique to that part of the world. So along with all that, they've also included a full integration with the Reality Expansion Pack from SimCoders as well. So there's a lot going on for this, and the most amazing thing about this is they've actually released this community for free. So that's absolutely outstanding, the fact that they've done that. As I said, this studio is a fascinating studio for me. They do some amazing work, and they do a lot of their work for free for the community as well. So we should all be very grateful for that. If you are wanting to try this one, don't forget to head over to the Prop Strike website, have a look, and grab it and download it, install it for free into your version of X-Plane 11, available now. Moving out of the X-Plane 11 world, moving to the world of the ESP platforms, we're going to start with the guys over at Virtual Coal releasing their Airbus A220 series. So, now a lot of people have some bad things to say about Virtual Coal, but they do, average products for a, median price. And as I said, and it's to me, as I said, like, they're not the most highly detailed products, but they are also, but they live by their motto of providing a friendly frame rate and a low-cost content to their customers, and it comes through. And 3D model-wise, this looks pretty good. For those who may not know, the Airbus A220 or A200 series is the Airbus name for the fact that they have licensed Bombardier's C range of regional jets. So under Airbus Productions, under Airbus license them, they're called the Airbus A220, A200 series. And this particular one, the A220-100 and the A220-300 included this one. You get 6 high definition texture liveries for this one here, a full operating virtual cockpit. As I said, in terms of 3D modeling, the exterior looks really good. The engine animations and engine modeling look really good. The interior leaves a little bit to be desired, especially the avionics setup. But as I said, it does the job, and it's for a reasonably low cost. I mean, we're talking $25 compared to what, $300 for FS Labs. Was it $150 to $300 for FS Labs or PMDG? So yes, it's not that hideous word, which I cannot for the life of me stand. That study level. Seriously, whoever invented that word should be shot. Just saying. Anyway, but at the same time, it's a reasonable it's a representation of this aircraft that gives you a chance to fly something that's kind of cool and out there at the moment. So there you go. But yes, as I said, if you are wanting to pick this one up, this one's available now from Sim Market, coming in, as I said, at $25 or your original equivalent, available now from Sim Market. Oh, sorry, and before I go, it is available for all of the ESP platforms as well. So we're talking for F6, F6 Sim Edition, and Prepared 1 through 4 in all its versions as well. So great to see the supporting cross-platform. in another aircraft release for the ESP world, but this time a F6 Steam Edition exclusive release. So this is another one of those re-releases, as they were. So this is the A2A A2A P-51H Mustang. So the P-51H was the final variant of the Mustang that was produced right at the end of the Second World War. It never actually saw combat, but it was known as to being the most high. It was the most high-powered of all the P-51 variants, with the largest engine, most powerful engine. Was the fastest, but yeah, as I said, because it came in right at the end of the war, it never saw combat. Is a little bit distinctive from the other versions of P-51 due to its taller tail. Incidentally, it was actually designed primarily to take on the Focke-Wulf TA-152 at high altitude combat. That was its express design purpose. But yeah, it never ended up seeing frontline service. The Second World War came to an end, but it served extensively with the US Air National Guard, and I think the Swedish Air Force as well. Saw a few examples flying as well. But yeah, this one's been out for a couple of years. I actually did a review of it when it first came out. The review's available on my channel if you do want to check it out. But again, as I said, this is a Steam Edition exclusive variant. Usual caveats apply if you're buying something for F6 Steam Edition. If you want something, looks like you don't actually make any savings at all from this one. By actually getting it on Steam rather than getting on that one, because you're looking at $20 US. I believe it's the same price from the A2A website, which actually the A2A one is compatible with F6 Steam Edition, and Prepared 1 through 3. This one is of course only compatible with F6 Steam Edition. So if you're ever thinking that you might want to go to the other platforms, you might want to consider buying it direct from A2A or buying it from another flight sim retailer. But otherwise, if you are only a Steam Edition pilot, then you can grab this one on Steam, available now. And another aircraft release for the ESP platform. So this time's a Prepared V4 exclusive release. So this one's from the A1R Design Bureau. So these guys are a group of Russian developers. They've actually come through and do some of the more quirky Russian aircraft, and they have definitely exceeded themselves this time around with the Yak-12A. So this was one of the so this was a 1950s design for a light multi-role STOL aircraft. So very much similar to the de Havilland Canada Otter in a way, but of course the Soviet version, as it were. So there's a very large radial engine out the front, high wing monoplane, fairly light construction, so it's all metals, high brace as well. So it's a metal frame, but it's a canvas covered fuselage, so it still managed to keep fairly lightweight. Not really much to do with this one, as I don't know a huge amount of the aircraft, but it said it does. They do soldier on and still are in extensive service throughout the former Soviet Union and various Eastern Bloc countries, and China as well. Because of, as I said, it is very cheap to operate, very lightweight, and very versatile aircraft. Continues to this day, still being used for agriculture, air ambulances, glider towing, and parachute operations as well. So it's very much the Russian workhorse, and as I said, very much a sort of equivalent to the old de Havilland Canada Otter in its way from the Eastern Bloc. Unusual, so it comes from the A1R guys, so high definition textures throughout, full, very custom, highly detailed 3D model, custom sound effects and custom sound suite for all of the aircraft and engine sounds, highly detailed virtual cockpit, and updated and accurate 3D gauges and avionics systems, and accurate flight dynamics. Looking pretty good. Now this one is a Prepared V4 exclusive, and is not available on other platforms, and is only available for Prepared V4. This one's available either direct from the AR1 Design website or from the sim market, for coming in at around about $22 US, or your original equivalent, available now. And rounding out the ESP platform news this week, the guys over at ASEAN Airports have released their rendition of Seoul Gimpo International. So this is the primary international airport for Seoul, the capital of South Korea, with 2 runways. And is closer to the city, and is closer to the city centre than the new Incheon Airport, which is outside of town. Not really much to do, not really much detail about this one. This is the accurate airport layout as appeared at the end of 2018. So it's still so fairly accurate, fairly well laid out. A lot of custom buildings, of course, custom designs and custom 3D objects for all of the airport buildings, but also they've gone through the surrounding town as well, to actually sort of get parts of Seoul, and captures a lot of the iconic buildings of Seoul have been modelled and put into this one, as well as custom shops for the surrounding airport surrounding as well. Actually looking fairly detailed. This one, so fairly impressed with the way this one's looking. Especially a lot of the quirky sort of K-pop sort of stuff that's in there as well, the airport as well. So looking pretty cool. If you only wanted to add this one to your ESP range, so this is fully compatible with all of the ESP range from FSX all the way through to prepared V4 and everything in between. Coming in for around about $28 or your regional equivalent. Available now from Sim Market. Moving out of the flight simulation world, moving to the world of ground transportation, the guys over at Train Simulator have released their latest route with the Promontory Summit route add-on. So this is a very much a period piece add-on, this one. So this is a 68 mile track modelled as they are part of the Transcontinental Railway in America in the as it would have appeared in about the 1860s, as operated by Union Pacific and Central Pacific Railways. So it's got a variety of Old West locations here, including Old West in Utah, Promontory Summit, Korean Blue Creek, and the Big Trestle and Great Salt Lake are all included. You've got a variety of visual cues, a lot of period buildings and sort of layouts have been included, as well as highly detailed renditions and accurate turntables and other various railway equipment have all been modelled. Now, a couple of things about this one. Now, this one you do have to have a couple of other options for this one. You must have either the number 60 Jupiter, the Buffalo, or the Union Pacific 119 trains in order to be able to utilize this add-on. Because this one does include 10 career scenarios as well as 3 free roam scenarios, and you do need to be able to have one of those 3 trains in order to be able to access some of the assets that are utilized throughout this add-on. So a couple of things to be aware of that one. Otherwise, looking very highly detailed for this one. Some extra rolling stock have been no extra rolling stock included. Just as it's all just about the scenery and the layout and the appearance of the events and some of the storylines. You do get this one coming in. This one is coming at about $25 or your regional equivalent. Available now on Steam. And another public transportation thing, moving into the world of buses, this time to Bus Simulator 18, with the, I think this is their first DLC pack for 2019. This is their Man Bus Interior Pack. So this one includes, so for those who might have ridden a bus lately, you'll notice every now and again that they've got this really gaudy, absolutely hideous patterns that are on trains. They are actually part of a catalogue that Man Buses have available to you, and all of these people can choose. This pack gives you 4 of those absolutely ghastly liveries that we see in our daily lives, available for you to apply to your simulated man buses now. So as I said, it's a bit quirky, it's a bit weird, kind of cool. It's $3. But to give that bit of extra life to your man buses, maybe you might want to add it in there. As I said, it's kind of quirky, kind of cool, kind of weird. Kind of does remind me of the rubbish that I see every day when I used to get a bus and a train into the city when I used to work in a city. But anyway, if you are wanting to add that to your pack, you can now. Available now on Steam. $3. Why not? Alright, okay, let's move on quickly from that. Moving into the world of sports this time, so starting off with fishing. So, Fishing Sim World has come out with its latest location this week, with Lago del Mundo. So this is a new region as part of southern Spain. Which translates to Lake of the World, and which apparently in real life is a very serious fishing destination as well. It's very iconic as well, with a lot of wind turbines on the hills surrounding the area. In this rendition of it for Fishing Sim World, it's over 1,000 acres, including this is the first lake to offer fishing from static locations around the edge of the lake, as well as you to be able to actually grab your boat and go out into the middle of the lake. It also includes a new rigid inflatable, the Haichoi. I'm absolutely certain I've got that wrong. And so you can go out and actually fish in the middle of the lake, or as I said, you can go for the more traditional fishing sim option of being able to fish from pegs around the edge of the lake. You have a variety of new fish you can actually go through here. including catfish of up to 200 pounds and carp of over 70 pounds. Variety of new achievements, all that kind of stuff also included. This one's coming in at a fairly standard price for these guys, coming in at about $11 original equivalent, available now on Steam. And finally, rounding out the simulation news this week with another one of these sporting management simulators. This is Out of the Park Baseball 20. Can I just say, it's one of those moments when you realize you've been doing stuff a long time. When you see, and I saw Out of the Park Baseball 20 come up. I remember talking about on this show Out of the Park Baseball 15. Yeah, I've been doing this a long time. Anyway, so we are here once again with Out of the Park Baseball 20. Look, not a great deal has changed. It's basically the same kind of stuff. It goes through historical. You got historical teams. It's a fully licensed rendition as well. So all the team names, team logos, everything are all included. You've got the major leagues, you've also got the minor league baseball are also included as well. You've got various other classic teams, as I said, everything done. You've got all the rosters included for all the projected 2019 rosters as well included, as well as 12 international leagues are included as well, including Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, Australia, Italy, Netherlands, Mexico, Cuba, and Germany, Spain, France, and the Czech Republic. I didn't even know we had a National Australian League. I didn't even know we had one. Anyway, I'm sure we did. Actually, I probably kind of did, but it was just, yeah. It's definitely not covered on TV here. It's definitely not as big as it is in the US. Anyway, moving on. You've got also various historical scenarios that you can play through, as well as a update to the in-game AI engine. New tiebreaker calculations for improved realism, and a couple of other modifications to the scouting tools and experiences as well. Otherwise, it's the same stuff. It's fantasy football. It's fantasy football for baseball and your PC. There you go. So this one's coming in. So the nominal price for this one is $40 currently on a launch special for $36 or your original equivalent, available now on Steam. And with that, folks, that does round out the NovaWrap for this week. Thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more. And you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright, folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.